These 8 advanced English words will lift your fluency and your IELTS, TOEFL, or Cambridge score. And you won't just memorize them. You'll meet each one inside the story, feel what it means, then prove you caught it. That's how your brain keeps them for good. On the night she inherited the house, the woman in the portrait turned her head. Nora was certain of it. She had glanced up the stairs, and the painted eyes that had stared straight ahead a moment before were now fixed, beyond doubt, upon her. The house had come to her without warning. A solicitor's letter, a name she barely knew. And all at once, Nora had inherited a crumbling manor on the edge of the moor, along with everything inside it. Everything, including the portrait. It hung at the top of the staircase, and the first time Nora saw it, her breath caught. The woman in the frame resembled her so closely that she might have been staring into a mirror painted 100 years before. The same dark eyes, the same stubborn jaw. The small plaque beneath read only, Adelaide, 1898. The solicitor had mentioned her briefly. Adelaide had lived alone in this house and died young, he wrote, in some accident he could not fully explain. After that, the family had let the place stand empty for a century. No one had wanted to live beneath that gaze. Nora soon understood why. Wherever she stood in the hall, the portrait's gaze seemed to follow her, patient, unblinking, fixed. At first she called it a trick of the brushwork, but as the weeks wore on, a cold unease began to settle in her chest each time she climbed those stairs. The strangeness gathered slowly. The oil lamp on the landing would flicker whenever she passed the frame, though no window stood open and no draft stirred the air. Some nights the flame sank so low that the painted face seemed to shift in the moving light, and Nora would hurry by with her heart pounding. Then there were the flowers. Nora kept fresh roses in a vase on the landing, beneath the portrait. Everywhere else in the house they lasted a week. There, beneath Adelaide, they withered overnight. Every bloom browned and curled by morning, as though something in that corner drank the life straight out of them. She began to believe the house was haunted. Worse, that it was Adelaide herself who haunted it, and that the dead woman who wore Nora's own face wanted her gone, or wanted somehow to take her place. The unease grew until Nora could hardly face the staircase at all. Half ashamed, she wrote again to the solicitor and asked what he knew of Adelaide's death. His reply was short. Adelaide, it said, had fallen on that very staircase one stormy night, and with her last breath had made a strange vow, that she would never leave the house unguarded and never let it harm another living soul. Nora read the letter twice. A vow to guard the house. It should have comforted her. Instead, the unease sharpened into something close to terror, because that very night the storm came. Rain hammered the old windows. The lamps flickered wildly, and Nora, unable to sleep, went out to the landing to steady them. As she reached the top step, the portrait's gaze dropped. She saw it happen. The painted eyes, which had held her own for weeks, now aimed downward, hard, at the stair beneath her foot. She froze. In the leaping light, Adelaide's face no longer looked like a threat, but like her own, twisted in warning. The two of them so alike they resembled a single woman split across 100 years. Nora looked down. The step she was about to trust was black and soft with rot, the wood withering from the inside, ready to give way. One more stride, and she would have dropped straight through it into the dark below. She stepped back. The lamp steadied, and the gaze in the portrait, she would swear to it for the rest of her days, lifted from the broken stair and settled gently on the middle distance, as though it could finally rest. Adelaide had never been haunting her to drive her out. She had died on that staircase, alone, 100 years before, and she had kept her vow, watching, waiting, warning, whoever came after in the only language a portrait owns, a flickering flame, a withered rose, a gaze that would not let go, not a curse upon the house Nora had inherited, but a guardian standing watch inside it. Nora mended the stair the next morning and never feared the landing again. Sometimes, climbing past, she would pause and look up at the woman who so resembled her, and feel not unease now, but something close to love. And she would always swear that the painted mouth, ever so slightly, had begun to smile. Now, and did you catch all 8? Let's find out. A noun for a long, steady, fixed look. It's the unblinking stare you can feel on the back of your neck. The portrait fixed this on Nora wherever she stood in the hall. She felt the painted what follow her up the stairs. The word
is ɡeɪz.
He felt her steady gaze from across the crowded room. A noun for a quiet, anxious feeling that something is wrong. It's the restless discomfort you can't quite explain or shake off. Nora felt this settle coldly in her chest on the staircase. A cold what filled her each time she climbed the stairs. The word is unease. A growing sense of unease kept him awake all night. A noun for a serious, solemn promise. Think of the words a couple say to each other at a wedding. Dying on the stairs, Adelaide made this to guard the house. She had sworn a sacred what never to leave the house unguarded.
The word is vow.
She made a solemn vow to protect her little sister. A verb meaning to burn or shine unsteadily, wavering on and off. It's what a candle does in a draft, trembling and going dim. The landing lamp did this whenever Nora passed the painting. The flame began to do what as the storm rattled the windows?
The word is flicker.
The old streetlight began to flicker in the heavy rain. A verb meaning to receive money or property from someone who has died. It's what an heir does when a relative leaves them a fortune. This is how Nora came to own a manor she had never even seen. She would do what? Receive the old house and everything inside it?
The word is inherit.
He will inherit the farm when his grandfather passes away. A verb meaning to visit or trouble a place or person repeatedly, like a ghost. It's what a spirit does, lingering in cold rooms and troubling the living. Nora feared the dead woman had returned to do this to the house. She believed Adelaide's spirit had come to do what to the lonely manor?
The word is haunt.
People say a sad ghost haunts the empty old theater. A verb meaning to look like, or be similar to, someone or something. It's the way a daughter can be the very image of her mother. Nora and the woman in the portrait did this so closely they seemed one person. She was shocked at how closely she had come to do what? Look like the painted ancestor?
The word is resemble.
The twins resemble each other so closely it is hard to tell. A verb meaning to dry up, shrink, and slowly die, as a plant does. It's what a flower does without water, browning, curling, and fading. The roses beneath the portrait did this overnight, every single time. The wood of the stair had begun to do what? Dry up and rot? From within?
The word is wither.
The flowers will wither quickly in this dry summer heat. Quick recap. How many do you still remember?
ɡeɪz.
Unease.
Vow. Flicker. Inherit. Haunt. Resemble. Wither.
A new English story every day. Subscribe and learn advanced words the way your brain actually keeps them. Inside a story you won't forget.